Hi, this is Dave in the IQ Center, just with a quick tutorial on how to track objects using Adobe After Effects. So the first thing we do is launch After Effects. It's called After Effects CC 2015. This program is available on most of the computers in the IQ Center, the laptops, and in the visualization lab. So when you first launch After Effects, you get this welcome screen. You can just close that because we're going to let the video that we import control what the settings are. So when you first open it, After Effects will have the project pane highlighted. This is in the upper left-hand corner. This is where you add assets to your project. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Right-click in that box and choose Import File. You can also do it from the main menu, File, Import File. We're going to go out and find our video for tracking. I've got one right here. And you see it gives you a little thumbnail of the video. The next thing we need to do is to take that video and put it into the timeline. This is our project pane that has our assets. The timeline is this area down at the bottom. So we just take that file and drag it down into the timeline. It automatically gives you a timeline that is the length of the video that we just dragged in. You can see if I just drag this little playhead here, you can scrub through the video and see it play. To start and stop the video in this window, you can use the space bar. If I hit the space bar, it will start playing. If I hit the space bar again, it will stop. You can also use this preview panel in the upper right here. This lets you play, stop, or do frame by frame. It controls the playback. So once we get this video in here, we want to track something in there. So in this case, we want to track this little ball at the top here. So we're going to use something called the tracking pane. And you can see here in the workspace that it's not visible by default. So we need to go up to the window menu and grab that from the window. So if you look down here, there's an option called Tracker, which is unchecked. If we check that, a tracker window will show up in our workspace. The tracker window lets you do a lot of different things. We're going to use one of the features called Track Motion. So you see 4 buttons here. Track Motion is the lower left button. When I press Track Motion, a little box appears in the middle of my video. And this is a bounding box for what we want to track. So the first thing we're going to do is go down to our timeline and scrub forward until our object appears. We have to have the object we're tracking in the frame. So I'm going to go to right before it starts moving, and then I'm going to drag this track point up there. Now, this is kind of critical. As you drag around on this little track point, the cursor changes to different things. We want to make the cursor drag this until the cursor is a 4-way arrow that is black. That lets us move the entire track point. And you can see as I drag it around, it's acting like a little magnifying glass. So we move the magnifying glass until we find our object that we want to track. And we drop it right on there. Now there are 2 boxes around the track point. The outer box controls the area that we're looking to track. Okay, so this is like the bounding box that if our tracking point ever jumps outside of this box in a single frame, we'll lose tracking. So we want to make sure this is big enough so that even when it's moving very fast down our little ramp here, it's never going to hop outside this box, because then we'll lose tracking. The small box in the center should be expanded to just cover the object that you want to track. And this can be any part of your object. It can be, if there's a little corner, a little dot or something on your object, it doesn't have to be encompassing an entire object. It can just be a point on an object. So that box encompasses that. The larger box encompasses your range of motion. The bigger you make this large box, the longer it takes to track, and also the more likely you are to get other moving things into the track. So just make this as tight as you can to encompass the motion of the object. All right, so then once we have this set up, we go back to our tracker panel in the lower right, and there are several options for tracking this. If you hover over these buttons, you see Analyze Forward, Analyze Backwards, and then Analyze Frame by Frame. The first thing you should try is just to analyze forward and see if it tracks your object. And so we're going to just press this button and see what happens. And you can see the object isn't moving yet, but once it starts moving, the tracker will follow the object. Now, in some cases, it may lose it, in which case you just stop it and maybe redo the settings on how big the box is. Okay, so it has tracked our object off the screen, and so once it has done that, you can hit Stop in the Analyze pane. So now you can see there's a series of boxes along a path, and each one of these boxes is where it has calculated the center of that object for the frame. So each one of these is a frame of data. Now, so it has tracked it. The next thing we want to do is get this data out of here. So we have to find that data. If we go back down to the timeline, you'll see a little arrow next to our video. And if we untwirl that, you'll see there are some attributes associated with our object. One of those is motion trackers. So if I untwirl motion trackers, you'll see that tracker 1 is the tracker that we added to the scene. If I open that up, you'll see track point 1. That's the track point that we tracked. And then if you open track point 1, you'll see a series of options here. These are the data that was captured in the track point. And the one that we're interested in is feature center. If I open this column up, you'll see that this one here is feature center. And if we go over to the right in our timeline, you'll see, I'm going to open this up. This controls how much of our scene we're looking at. I'm going to open this up to see the entire scene. And these are a series of little what are called keyframes, and each one of these is a frame of data. And if I highlight one of these, you'll see that I can highlight individual keyframes there. If I drag a box around all of these keyframes, I can select the feature center data. So this is where the feature is at every frame that it has tracked. So if you highlight all those, Control C on the keyboard, or Edit Copy from the menu, or Apple C on a Mac. We've copied the keyframes, and we can do something with them now. So they're in the, we have them copied, and now if I run anything, I mean, we're gonna go to Excel. It's probably what you'll most likely be doing. So if I run Microsoft Excel, and open a blank workbook, I can hit Control V or Edit Paste, and we've pasted in that data. So here is the frame number and the position of the center of the feature center in pixels, X and Y. Now, you can use the information in your video to figure out, to convert this into real-world measurements. There's another screencast here on using Photoshop. You can use Photoshop to make this conversion. In our video, you can see we've put a ruler in here, so we can easily calculate how many pixels per centimeter or pixels per inch, whatever you've got. So this will be easy to calculate anything, velocity or acceleration. So that's it for this screencast. This is just about how to track features. And if you want to be able to figure out how to calculate the scale, watch the screencast in Photoshop. Okay, thanks for watching.